And I would like to remember just two little more concepts. The first one, they are not little. The first one is the concept of complex phenomena that Hayek proposed in his paper, The Theory of Complex Phenomena. In this paper, he proposes that there are certain kind of phenomena that are composed by so many elements, and not only the number of elements, but also the interaction and interrelation between these elements are so many and so complex that we could not create a simple model to explain this kind of phenomena. The number of elements that could be necessary to conformate a formula in terms of mathematical formula so as to explain these kind of orders are so big that they are almost impossible to create a model to explain this phenomena in these terms. So what can we do with this kind of phenomena? Of course, Hayek finds that all social phenomena, like not only like society, but also mind or language or other kind of phenomena, are this kind of complex phenomena. Law, for example. What can we do with this kind of phenomena? Well, what we can do is to try to find the regularities in this kind of phenomena, the patterns that are the repeated regularities, and to formulate certain kind of pattern predictions. And these patterns predictions are like prohibitions that are negative in proper ways. They are negative predictions. They establish what could be prohibited in the future or what could not happen in the future. Of course, there are general predictions, not particular predictions, and he thinks that this is a very good thing to do in social sciences, to give this kind of general predictions that could, in a way, guide us, because they show us what could be the tendency in the future. Of course, they are not completely certain, etc., etc. And the last concept, the last Hayekian concept that I would like to highlight is the notion of abstract rules. Hayek, in different papers, in studies, new studies, etc., but also in Law, Legislation and Liberty, speaks about this kind of the importance of abstract conceptions, and particularly this idea that like an outcome of our interactions, certain rules starts to emerge. And these rules sometimes are conscious rules, but sometimes are non-conscious rules. These abstract rules do not only influence our perception of the world, but our decision-making process also. So we, in a way, see the world and interact with other people through certain abstract rules that we are not conscious about. But these abstract rules are a kind of framework that is also adaptive. What do I mean? These abstract rules create expectations in our mind about the world in general and about the behavior of other people. And the point is that when we are expecting certain action or certain behavior and this does not happen, our abstract framework adapts to this change and try to change in terms of what is happening in our environment. And what he's proposing is these abstract rules and this abstract framework is not a stable thing. It is an adaptive thing that is changing with us and with our environment. In this way, there's a point that he highlighted in Law, Legislation and Liberty, that is the mind and the context and the environment change simultaneously. There's like a feedback between mind and environment. Well, these are all the concepts I would like to remember about Hayek. The second part is I will tell certain things about one theory. I chose one theory of current evolutionary thought, and I will say why I chose this one. First of all, because it's a theory on the school of evolutionary game theory, and I knew the author of this. He was one of my tutors in the London School of Economics. But what I thought that it was very important is that the assumptions of his theory are very similar to certain epistemological Hayekian points. You know, it's like, in general, we think that we cannot connect Hayek, or in general certain Austrian authors, with other theories because they do not agree in the epistemological assumptions. Well, in this case, I found there are a lot of theories that nowadays are discussing the traditional rational assumptions of, for example, game theory, etc., in their own terms, not always admitting that there's a Hayekian influence in this, but they are also discussing certain assumptions that I think that are pretty similar to what Hayek proposed. This is the first reason. The second reason is because I think that there's a kind of classical evolutionary school, you know. I think that Hume, Hayek could represent this kind of classic evolutionism. And thus, these new evolutionary theories. And I think that we can perhaps connect this classic evolutionism with a certain of new evolutionary theories. Not all of them because of this disagreement in the assumptions, but with some of them I think that it could be interesting to do it. First of all, the theory I chose is Jason's Alexander, that have published a book last November on the structural evolution of morality. That is the name of the book. In this book, he proposes a lot of models to explain the emergence of social rules and moral rules particularly by the interaction of agents. In terms of evolutionary game theory, the social rules can be understood as the result of multiple interactions between individuals under given circumstances, such as specific social structure or different incentives. So they take into account the interactions, the incentives, and the social structure, the particular social structure. And what Alexander thinks is that these rules that emerge work as a general heuristic whose adoption ensures an individual that individual could do better if he or she adopts that rules than if they don't.